and welcome to the Direct Selling Success Podcast. I'm Anna Green, and I'm here to share with you tips, tricks, and training on network marketing done right. Thank you for listening. Welcome, everyone. So today I am joined by Michelle Thomas. I am so excited to have you here. Michelle Thomas from the Happy Business Club. You're waving, but we're on a podcast.
I'm waving at you, Anna. Yeah, hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I am fabulous as always. I do like a fresh new page in the new year, although sometimes, sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes you just kind of keep going and keep going and keep going. And then you think you turned over the page, but the page was turned over ages ago. And you're halfway through your notebook and you've scribbled a million, billion, gazillion notes. And you're halfway through the year already before you've even started.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Not this year, though. I took Christmas off. This is the first proper year that I have really had 2 weeks off in my business and gone, right, that's it. And it was so nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I could manage 2 weeks. If I was away and I was sitting by a pool somewhere eating cake in the sun, then I could probably do 2 weeks. But sitting at home in my living room, it just makes me want to come down to my office and do a bit of work. But I class all sorts of stuff as work that other people probably don't. So
yeah, I probably class things not as work that are work.
Yes, I'm the opposite. I think certain things that people won't class as work, I actually class as work, because then it makes me feel like I've done loads of work.
Oh, I see. The opposite of procrastination then.
But I'm good at procrastinating as well.
Oh, I love it. So, Michelle, tell people a little bit about who you are and what you do and what the Happy Business Club is all about.
Well, I am a happiness coach first and foremost. I work with small business owners who are heart-led, driven by purpose and passion, and who might have lost their mojo a little bit. And what I do is I work with them, I support them, and I hold their hand as a busybody to remind them of who they actually are. Get back that mojo. So to me, mojo is motivation and joy. So get that kind of motivation with the joy attached, so they can actually then create a happy business, and not just for the short term, but to be able to replicate that and make it sustainable, so that they grow in terms of happiness with the business. So the business is a happy one rather than just a business, if you like. So that's primarily what I do. Oh yeah, and one of the other things we talk about quite a lot is the Happy Business Express. I also publish a magazine. It's a community magazine for heart-led small business owners, so that they can actually start connecting with each other and seeing the person behind the business. So I do a lot with that as well.
Yeah, it's a fab little magazine.
I love it.
I'm so excited to have my first little article put in there next time.
I'm going to stick you on the first page. Anna.
We'll make sure there is a link below this podcast somewhere in the show notes to it, so that everyone can go and read it. Oh, it's fab. So I've got you on here because I am very much into being and running heart-led businesses, coaching heart-led businesses as well, specifically in the direct sales industry. But I think it is one of the most important things. If you're running a business, you've got to love it, and you've got to do it in a way that aligns with you. And I know that me and you have had very many conversations about this, about that aligning of business and the things that you do in it. And I think in this industry specifically, it can be a challenge when you're being taught by people to do things that aren't in line with what you believe and what you feel. And I think that can cause a bit of a disconnect. So like you being able to come on here and talk about that would be just amazing, really.
Yeah. Well, you're talking there about the thing about the disconnect and being, taught different things by different people. And to me, the image that I got in my head was a little fly like banging up against a window. And I think sometimes we kind of get in our own way. We become our own worst enemies. And sometimes we just don't listen to ourselves. Now, I would say that the vast majority of people that I work with aren't in their spring chicken years. They are, a little bit older, they're a little bit wiser, they have families, they have lots of experience under their belts. I like to work with experts, people who know what the hell they're doing, people who know their onions, people who are experts in their field and are confident in that, which means that sometimes, when you create a life,
Yeah.
Have all that experience and you learn things. The people that I work with are super intelligent. They've gone on courses, they've been to university, they've had X amount of experience in different fields, they've got loads of transferable skills. And then all of a sudden, with all the melee that comes with being a small business owner, especially if you're doing it from the heart, a lot of this stuff kind of gets forgotten and put on the back burner, and you don't realize that a lot of the things that you've done in your life is very much transferable. So all of a sudden you think you're on the path to learning brand new things. You know, you got to learn about marketing, you got to learn about sales, you've got to learn about funnels, you've got to learn about sales techniques, you've got to learn about all these different things, you know, finances and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, you don't get to the ripe old age that you are without learning a thing or two along the way. And the vast majority of the things that you learn are things that you actually use. So I always think that sometimes it's a good idea to kind of get back in your comfort zone first before you start pushing outside of that and saying, well, what do I already know that's useful? You know, what do I already know that I don't have to spend loads of money and time and effort and energy and throw that computer out of the window because it's just so blooming frustrating, I just don't get it. Before I actually go down that road, what do I already know? And I think that's one of the biggest things that I do when I'm working one-to-one with somebody is reminding them what they already know, how flipping awesome they are, give them proof in their own backyards, in their own, you know, CVs, in their own experiences, because I ask them to tell me their stories. I need to know the stories behind the stories of the people that I work with, and they are allowed to be vulnerable enough to share that with me. And then I look at those stories and I say, hang on a second, you've done this and you've done that and you've done that, and how did you feel when you were doing that? Let's bring that back and use that before you start forking out money for thousands of pounds for courses. I'm not saying that it's not a good idea. I'm saying get back to who you are first and become aligned, rather than being that little fly that's, you know, banging up against the window. Have a little buzz about the room that you're already in.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I see so many people throwing money at stuff because they think it's
me included.
Yeah. We've all been there. Oh, this next shiny new course that I've got to get, otherwise I'm not going to be successful. Or that thing that's going to make me go from where I am stuck now to the next big thing if I just pay that money out. Yet if you're not aligned with yourself first and what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing, and then be ready to take the action, that money is just going to be thrown away anyway.
Yeah, and it's not going to create that kind of sustainability that you want. I mean, I talk about sustainable happiness because happiness is made up of lots of things, and I'm sure we'll delve into that in a minute. But creating this kind of sustainable happiness means actually, you know, doing things from the ground up, creating the foundations, and then leveling up and then leveling up and leveling up. So growing with it, as opposed to just trying to go straight outside your comfort zone and do things at 100 miles an hour and inevitably fail because you've got no structure to support it. I always think of it like if you get to 1st of January, which is, you know, not that long ago, let's see how many people have actually fallen off the wagon already. So you get to 1st of January and right, this is the year I'm going to go and get fit. I'm going to have a 6-pack by the end of the year. I'm going to go to the gym 10 times a week. I'm going to get a personal trainer. I'm going to get the most expensive personal trainer that trains all the celebrities. It's because I want to get a 6-pack like whatever celebrity is on Insta at the moment. Right, fine, fair enough. How about you go out for a walk every morning? Oh, no, I can't do that. So like, if you can't even blooming well go out for a walk in the morning, what makes you think you will go to the gym every single day and fork out all that money sustainably throughout the year? Get yourself onto something that you're already doing, something that you're doing consistently, and just build on that. And I think people forget how valuable that is. People forget how you can actually leverage that to create more energy and more of everything in your life, because they want things really fast. They're not prepared to wait for them. They're not prepared to move the needle along really slowly. And I want people to start coming back to that and using that a bit more often, because ultimately, if you already know how to do something, why aren't you going to do more of it? It's just so much easier.
Yeah. The way I always describe it to my clients is you're trying to get from the floor level of a super skyscraper to the top without using the lift or the stairs.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. You've got to take the route that's there for you.
Yeah.
Find your own route up. That might be a little bit more difficult, but you've got to take it step by step, floor by floor. Otherwise, you know, what's the point? You're just never going to do it.
And you do see people that occasionally there's the odd really weird person that does it. But when you delve a little deeper, there's something going on in the background that means that they've already got the support to be able to do that, whether it's money, whether it's they've got somebody who's mentoring them and supporting them anyway. So it's not like it looks like magic, but it isn't magic at all.
No, it's not. But they've often got the community, they've got the business base, they've got the knowledge, they've got the maybe they've got more confidence than you have, or they've got that network that you haven't got, or the experience in something else, especially in, you know, the network marketing direct sales industry. You see people go from consultant to the top of the company in a few months, whereas most people it's years.
Yes.
But those people, they're on a totally different journey from you.
Absolutely.
It's that comparisonitis that gets a lot of people as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's about comparing yourself to where you were yesterday.
Yes.
You know, create that betterment. Am I better than I was yesterday? No. I'm having a shit day. Sorry if I'm not allowed to swear on you.
No, swear away. Swear away.
So am I better than I was yesterday? No, I'm having a shit day. How can I be better tomorrow? Yeah, exactly. Not for anybody else, but for me. How can, and the other thing is looking back. A lot of people say, hey, don't look into the past. You're not going that way. Sod that.
Absolute reflection is so important.
Reflection and actually pulling out and acknowledging the amazing things. And one of the things that I really, one of the best ways of actually creating mojo is to celebrate. And I'm talking literally everything. I mean, on the 1st of January this year, I was celebrating a pop in a spot. And then the next day, I got a trophy for a karate class where there were 6 kids and me. But I got the trophy. And I celebrated the fact, not that I got the trophy, but that I'd spent the last 2 years working on my health in very small incremental ways, that I could actually do the exercises, that I could, you know, mentally put myself in a place where I could like hold a bean bag on my arm and stuff. Sorry, I'm just messing about here. And being able to focus as well. So I spent 2 years focusing, working on my energy levels, working on my flexibility, working on my strength, and working on my habits as well, to get to the point where I turn up to a class, everybody else is in their karate suits, I'm in my black leggings and t-shirt, I'm the oldest one in the room, I look like a total divvy, but I'm the one that went home with the trophy because I put everything that I had into it. And to me, celebrating something like that is really important. Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, you know, I haven't changed the world, but I've changed myself enough to put myself in a position where I can then change the world, which is where we talk about mojo, where I think it really comes into its own.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, you know what my mission is, don't you, Anna?
Tell everybody what your mission is.
It is to help lift the mood of the planet.
I love it.
Yeah. So the reason why I work with heart-led small business owners and people with purpose and people who want to do good in the world and all those lovely, lovely, gorgeous people that they just want to be around and who make the world a better place is precisely for that reason. I want to join forces with everybody that I can and encourage them to be able to do their job to the best of their ability with as much energy and passion as they could possibly muster, but come from a place of abundance, come from a place where you've got plenty of energy and plenty of mojo and plenty of excitement, and put that out into the world, because then you've got something to give people. And I think if everybody who does the kind of job that we do in terms of helping people, whatever way that is, I'm not just talking about coaches, I'm talking about anybody that's got a real passion for helping somebody do better, then ultimately, you know, everybody's starting to do it. It's naturally going to raise the mood of the planet, because the mood of the planet is pretty damn dire right now. There's not a lot going for it if you look at the news, which I don't, but I do get updates from my lovely husband because he likes watching the news. And I don't want that. I'm not interested in that. I want the world to be a better place. I want it to be a nice place for everybody. I want everybody to feel as excited and happy about their lives and what they're bringing to their lives as I do.
Yeah. And your mission is so similar to mine.
That way, then so be it.
Exactly. So my mission, as you know, is to change the face of network marketing, to make it that place that is full of joy and people loving it and that passion coming through, rather than the image that it gets from people who are in the media, people who don't understand what it's all about. I want to change that. And the way to change that is by being that positive energy, that personality that comes out there and shows how amazing it is and how much fun it is and how it's making an impact and a difference on all these other people's lives. And that was one reason why I wanted you on here, because that's exactly
paving the way, Anna. You're paving the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So tell me about these levels of happiness then.
The levels of happiness. It's quite hard to explain, but the first one is around proactive happiness. So the 4 pillars of happiness is make it important, pay attention, create happiness habits, and spread happiness. So if we can go through those on a regular basis and make it part of our everyday lives, we're already taking back the mantle to creating happiness in our lives. And I think as a very basic thing, if you can believe that you can be happy, if you even want to be happy, then these are the only things that you've got to do. So like I said, make it important, wake up in the morning and say, my happiness is important to me. And whatever that happiness is, when you start paying attention to what makes you happy, you know what makes you happy. You know what happy feels like. Once you start paying attention to that, you start to understand what happiness feels like to you. And for different people, it's different things. You know, for some people, it's peace and calm. For some people, it's determination. For some people, it's pride. For some people, it's love. For some people, it's joy. For some people, it's clarity. For some people, it's excitement. It's lots and lots of different things. And if you can get what I call is your flavor of happiness, you understand what combination of things make you feel really good and feel like, you know, like it's amazing to be alive, then that's the thing that you want to do more of. So then you build your happiness habits. It's the little things, those little things. Do more of the little things that are easy to do. Don't take time, money and effort and energy. And when you've done that and you're a heart-led business owner, then the important stuff is going to really be impacted, because you're coming from inside. But when you wake up in the morning, you feel amazing and you've got a meeting with somebody and you're spreading that amazingness to them. What a difference from waking up in the morning feeling like poo, but still dragging yourself and trying to make the world a better place. Then it's never going to land the same. So I think in terms of proactive happiness, that is very much the first level. And then beyond that, a lot of it is to do with how you connect with people, but how you challenge yourself as well. So get yourself really happy, be proactively happy, work on that every single day. And then start looking at things in a much broader perspective. So we're talking about, you know, the challenges that you have. How do you build resilience? How do you build a life where things aren't that great outside of yourself? How do you stay on top of all that and be the best that you can be? And that is a whole new level of mindset and heart set and connection and understanding and deep thought and integration into your life. You don't even need that to live a happy life. It's not absolutely necessary, because I think some people are coming from a really poor place in terms of happiness because they're already struggling with mental health issues. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's really, really easy to get dragged down by the world, and you know, and not be given the opportunity to build your resilience. But I think you've got to start somewhere, and the easiest place to start is the places that you already know, which is why I say, you know, the little things really matter, the things that bring you joy, peace, calm, you know, excitement. Do more of those. Give yourself permission to do more of those.
Yeah.
Be more intentional about it, for God's sake. You know, you do that. I do this thing called the tune. I've got a Facebook group, and every so often I go in there and make a right tit of myself.
Isn't that what Facebook Lives are for?
Yeah, I know. If you can't do that in your own group with your own mates, then where the hell can you? So at the beginning of the year, what I wanted to do was go back to the health habits that I have. Health is a really important part of my happiness. It's actually the foundations of pretty much all the energy that I have in my life. So it's really important to me. So I thought at the beginning of the year, what I'll do is all the health habits that I have, they're habits now. Maybe I can take them up a notch and see what else I can do to improve. So I went online and in my group, I did I did a little masterclass thing with a tracker that I devised as well. And then I did a little challenge. I don't think I pushed it too much, but I've been quite happy doing the challenge myself in my own bedroom. And it's called The Tune. So I said to everybody, if you give yourself a week and you do this, then it's guaranteed that you're going to be happier by this time next week. It doesn't matter where you are, you're always going to be happier. So the tune is very much what it says on the tin. The tune. When I say the tune, what comes to mind?
Oh, a little song.
Yeah. And what song is that for you, Anna?
Oh, I don't know. I just make songs up in my head and quite happily sing along while I'm doing everything. I'm a bit strange like that.
No,
so
you're not strange like that, because I do it all the time.
Is it all right? Okay. It's normal then. Yeah,
normal.
I would just make up a little tune.
Yeah,
I would just quite happily sing it.
But what about if you're out somewhere, like you're in the car and you put the radio on, and a tune comes on that takes you back to a place of utter and fabulous joy. And the next thing you know, you're like this in the car. What is that tune? Come on.
Well, there's two.
Go on then.
One is Van Halen's Jump.
Go on.
And the other one is Timbuk 3, The Future's So Bright You Gotta Wear Shades. They're my two songs.
That one. I'm gonna listen.
It was on a film soundtrack, but I can't remember which one. Some 80s one. So it's just a really cheesy 80s song.
Fabulous. If that's the tune,
that is the tune.
That's what I want you to use. I mean, some people have whole playlists. I have whole playlists. I can literally go onto my playlist.
Yeah, me too.
Play any of them, but not everybody does. Not everybody's into music and dancing and stuff. The thing is, as a human being, you are biologically programmed to respond to music. Your brain is programmed to respond to music. Now, if you pick something that has a memory attached to it that is a joyful and heart-lifting memory, then you are more likely to experience that quite viscerally in the moment. So the best thing to do is in the morning, if you can't switch the music on, sing it to yourself, get yourself out of bed with the tune, and you tell me that doesn't impact you and your mood for at least a part of the day. If you do it every single day, it builds on itself. It generates this new kind of energy. And if that's the only thing that you ever did in your life to make yourself happy, then you would be a much happier person.
Yeah, totally agree. So I use music to inspire and to motivate me, and to get clarity on my visions.
Yes.
So way back when, and the people in direct selling will understand this, you might not quite the same. I was going for a massive promotion. I was trying to reach this, it's called regional vice president. I was going for that promotion, and it was a big promotion. And for an entire year, I had a playlist that I would play every time I went in the car, every morning when I woke up, every time I was getting ready for something big, every time I was going to do something that was going towards my goal. And every time I heard those songs, I'd get in a zone.
Yes.
And it takes you into a zone, and it made me excited and driven and super happy. And I knew that I was going to reach this goal because I could visualize this music being played when I was going to go onto stage. I could feel that whole energy taking me through all the hard stuff that I needed to do to get there.
Yeah.
And everything I did after playing that music went so much better than if I hadn't have played it, because I was just in that right place.
I bet you a pound to a pinch of dog shit, if you dug that out and played that playlist, you'd be flying today.
Absolutely. And it still works now. Yeah, it still works now. The same playlist, as cheesy as those songs were from, like, I think one of them was a Take That song. Is it Greatest Day or something like that? It was of one of those ones that was on there. And there was a song that I'd had on an incentive trip one year that went on there. I think there was even a Eurovision winner on there from Sweden that was on there too, because it was just that it did something to my brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, those songs, they really did massively help. And that instilling that pattern in your brain with the music can totally change your mood.
It does. It hormonally, it affects the hormones and the neurotransmitters in your brain that are associated with different types of happiness. So you've got the dose hormones, the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and I can never remember what the last one is. endorphins. So different things do different things. But in terms of dopamine, it's a great way of getting a dopamine hit. A lot of people with ADHD, for example, struggle with dopamine regulation. And getting that dopamine hit from something that is not going to be have a detrimental effect on your on your future is finding little ways that mean that it's actually going to be beneficial to you. And music, it's been proven scientifically again and again and again and again that is going to be something that's going to be beneficial to you no matter who you are. And the other thing you've got to remember is if you've got music going on in your head, what's the first thing that you start doing?
Dancing.
Dancing. What are you doing when you're dancing? You're moving your body. You're moving your body. You're moving everything in your body. You're doing the kind of thing that your body is supposed to be doing to keep itself alive. Not only that, you start singing. And what does singing do? It allows you to regulate your breath. What does your breath do? It regulates your nervous system. No bloody wonder you can be happy just through listening to music and dancing and singing. No flipping wonder that every single culture on this planet has that in their culture as a way of actually bonding, creating connections, making themselves happy, making themselves healthy. And when you look at it in terms of that, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And why do we not bring joy into our business enough? Because that joy and that passion and that energy transfers straight into being more productive, being more motivational, being more inspirated. Inspirated, is that a word?
Inspired.
Inspired. You know what I mean? But it really does make a difference. And the more happy you are, the more you're going to get done, the more you're going to make in money, in growth, in scaling, in being creative in your business. It's phenomenal.
And it's about wanting to do it, and it's about taking the action to do it. I do appreciate that not everybody's in that position. And I do come across that sometimes people really have bad days. And one of the biggest things is when you're feeling like crap, you allow yourself to feel like crap until you feel no crap no more. I think sometimes people don't have the skill to pull themselves out of that. They don't develop the skill to pull themselves out of that, and that makes it doubly hard. But there are skills that you can use to pull yourself out of the initial emotional reaction so that you can then choose how you want to feel. And it is a choice.
Totally.
It absolutely is a choice until it's not a choice anymore, because that's who you naturally become.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you so much for being on my podcast. This has been an amazing episode.
I love talking about happiness. I could be here all day long.
Me too. Even as a kid, when I was really small, you say, what's your favorite quote? My favorite quote was always eat fat, be happy. And it was not the fact that it was eat what you wanted. It was like, do what the flip you want, but be happy about it. Because actually that's more important than anything else.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, thank you so much. Before we do disappear, where can people find you?
I'm at the Happy Business Club. So I'm on Facebook, the Happy Business Club. It's got links to my group. It's a free group for anybody that's got a happy business that wants to join in with the shenanigans. There's all sorts that we get up to. I can't even tell you what it is because I don't know from day to day. I usually just go on live and say, I've got a challenge for you, go. And then there's the Happy Business Express, which is, I'm always looking for writers, even people who don't consider themselves writers, but they have a business they're very passionate about and they want to get themselves out there. And it's a good way of being visible without being too visible. And it's about being visible in a community that holds space for you as well. So if you want to write for me, then we'll put the link below. But there's also, if you just want to get the magazine and see what it's all about, it's free. It's always going to be free. There's no adverts in it. There's no selling in it. And you probably kill me for that. But it is a community magazine.
Selling without selling is the way forward, Michelle.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that I want everybody to feel like they've got somewhere that they can come back to and really connect with people on a very genuine level without the whole thinking that they're going to be sold at kind of thing. There's a place for that. There is a place for that. The place for that is separate from the Happy Business Express. That's not the place, but the place for connecting with other heart-led business owners who potentially could help you, because there's lots of freebies in there, there's lots of recommendations in there, there's lots of inspirational stories in there, and you can get your own story in there. I know you've written for the next issue, which is the Mojo issue that's coming out on the 29th of January. So we'll be ready to rock and roll for that one. It's going to be one of my favorite issues, although it's going to rival the first birthday that we had a few months ago when I ate all that cake. That was amazing.
That was a good one.
But Mojo is a very, very big subject close to my heart. So I'm going to be having lots of amazing guest writers in there talking about you know, what happiness means to them, what mojo is, and what the secret sauce is of life, and the hints and tips that they've got. So, you know, things like confidence coaching and oh, there's all sorts in there. I can't even think off the top of my head. But yeah, if anybody wants to join us, the Happy Business Club, either on Facebook or Instagram, or there's going to be a link for the Happy Business Express.
Yes,
That's it.
brilliant. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for listening.